السلام عليكم يعطيكم العافية. احنا last time we studied section 67.3 about genetic linkage and mapping. Well, before that we studied non-Mendelian inheritance. Before that we studied Mendel. Now, until now, all the traits, all the animals that scientists use to study genetics were animals or plant. Okay, in Mendel case, Mendel used pea plant. In the people who studied the genetic linkage and mapping, they used fruit fly. Now, you think that studying these genetics in these organisms, it's not interesting thing, and it's not important and sometimes boring, because you feel there's nothing connect you with this topic. But actually, a human, okay, follow the same rule of genetics. Human follow the same pattern of heredity, the same as we studied in pea plant, dominant, recessive, and the same when they study things in butterfly, and they studied a lot of disorders and so on. How this happened? First, as a human, we have meiosis, okay, and meiosis independently assort chromosome, okay, when gametes are made for sexual reproduction. You remember that a human has 46 chromosome, right? And we have 23 pairs of chromosome, and in another word, we have 2 copies from each chromosome. Now, when gametes are formed, those 2 copies from each chromosome, they are separated from each other and they are assorted. They are distributed independently. That's the first thing, okay? And the same thing happened in pea plant. The same thing happened in the fruit fly, okay? The second thing, human heredity. Let me just highlight this. This is the first thing, and this is the second thing. Okay, human heredity involves the same relationship between alleles. There is dominant alleles and there is recessive alleles. And there is polygenetic traits, and there is 6-linked gene. There is incomplete dominance in a human case, and there's all the kind of traits and pattern of inheritance that we study in other organisms. Okay? Okay. Now, as you remember, we studied that eye color, as an example, is a polygenetic trait, has 3 different genes control it, right? Now, we also studied that environment has a large impact on the phenotype, okay? As an example, and you have this example here in the book, it says several genes affect height, okay, بيأثروا على الطول، بيحددوا طول الإنسان أكثر من gene. But also a person's environment during growth and development plays a large role in his or her adult height, okay? يعني the nutrition, if he works when he was young, okay, and he وشال أشياء ثقيلة بحياته وهو صغير، طبيعة الحياة، كل هذا الانفايرمنت بنسميه كله له إيش large impact, as an example, on the height، طول الإنسان. Okay? But this is just an introduction about how these principles of genetics that we studied using pea plant and using fruit fly also apply in a human case. تمام? Studying these principles is so important, okay, in what? In predicting the disorder in the offspring or in the kids, okay? If you remember, we studied some disorder like Huntington disease, okay, or like cystic fibrosis, Now, being able to predict how these diseases or disorders go from generation to the next generation, we can prevent this from happening. How? By predicting this. إذا مثلا two people they want to marry, okay, and one of them is a carrier for cystic fibrosis, the other one maybe also carrier for cystic fibrosis, we tell them that there is a 25% that one of your kids will have this disease. And then the doctor might tell them, don't get married because there's 25% possibility that one of your kids will have the disease. That's a big advantage, okay? This is a big advantage for us. In Jordan, I don't know if you're familiar with this, no one can marry except if they do a lab test. الناس قبل ما يتجوزوا عندنا بالأردن الحكومة ما بتوافق على زواجهم إلا إذا عملوا lab test, blood test, okay, to check if they are carrier for a blood diseases like hemophilia. تمام؟ فإذا واحد kind of hemophilia, not the same hemophilia that we're going to study today, just because we're going to study something about hemophilia, but another type of hemophilia, and if both of them, they are a carrier for hemophilia, the government does not allow them to marry. Got the point? It's a big influencing point, studying and to predict the next generation. طيب. أيوة. Now, one of the main topics when we study human genetics is sex-linked genetic disorder. Now, you will notice, always when we study human genetics, we focus on disorders. نركز على المشاكل والأخطاء والأمراض اللي ممكن تيجي للأجيال القادمة. Problems, diseases, disorders that are gonna be in the next generation, in the kids, in the offspring. Okay? ليش؟ لأنه إحنا the main driving thing for us as a human to study human genetics is to predict diseases, is to predict problems. Okay? This is why we focus always on this. Predicting diseases, predicting disorders, preventing from having defected babies or babies with a problem. يعني بطريقة أخرى إحنا بنحاول إنه نخفف احتماليات إنه يطلع في أطفال بالمجتمع عندهم مشاكل وأمراض. مشان هيك دائما دراسة الهيومن جينيتكس أو وراثة الإنسان بتركز كتير على مسألة الديسوردرز، الأمراض والمشاكل والخلل اللي ممكن يكون عند الأطفال. صح؟ فإذا إحنا مثلا اثنين أجوا بدهم يتزوجوا، أجد اعتمادا على فحص معين هم عملوه، أجد الدكتور قال لهم إذا أنتم بتتزوجوا ابنكم راح يكون مثلا عنده خلل بالدماغ. كويس، في احتمال مثلا 50% ابنكم يكون عنده خلل بالدماغ. هل تتخيل إنه هذول الناس راح يتزوجوا؟ أنا مني وعلي أكيد ما راح يتزوجوا. ليش؟ لأنه it's a big problem for them. طيب. So this is why always you will see that human genetics focus on disorders. طيب. So we are going to study 6-linked gene. Okay? 6-linked gene. Now, 6-linked gene, as you remember, they are related with genes found on or located on X chromosome. تمام؟ always وهذا انتوا اذا بدكم يعني something to highlight ابدوا معي من هون من عند in contrast only female can be carrier of 6-linked disorder. بس الفيميل بيقدروا يكونوا carrier. ليش طب بس الفيميل بيقدروا يكونوا carrier؟ because what? The genetic disorder are caused by genes on chromosome X. Okay, ال 6-linked disorder caused by genes on chromosome X. مين في عنده 2 chromosome X؟ X X female ولا male؟ طبعا female. وهون الميل on the other side have XY. فإذا حكينا الجينز اللي بتسبب 6 linked disorder معناها موجودة على الإكس كروموسوم، معناته only female can be carrier. ليش؟ لأنه they have 2 copy of this gene. فلو فرضنا إنه في جين اسمه R، أوكي، هاي R small، وهون R capital على الإكس تبعت المان، فمعناته هاي this female is a carrier لأنها has the recessive allele and has the dominant allele. But a man only can have only 1 copy of the gene because the man has 1 copy of a chromosome X that has the gene. فإما هذا الجين راح يكون R capital، okay، أو راح يكون الزلمة هذا عنده R small. فمستحيل يكون الزلمة كارير. إما بيكون الرجل هو has the disorder أو does not have the disorder. لأنه to be a carrier you have to have 2 copy of the gene, 2 alleles, one of them dominant, the other one is recessive, like the case of this female. But in in 6-linked genes disorder, genetic disorder, a man can only have a recessive or a dominant. This is why impossible for a man to be ايش carrier. اوكي، هيا هون ها مشان اللي فيكو بده يدرس من الكتاب ويراجع. هون there is no male, okay, there is no male carries of 6-linked disorder. ما في carriers، ما في carriers male. ليش؟ لأنه man has only 1 copy of X chromosome. In another word, he has 1 copy of the allele. And 1 copy هي هون كاتب لكم 1 copy بعد ماسكت، ولا خليني أعمل highlight. 1 copy of the allele is enough for male to have the disorder or to be a normal. واضح؟ طيب. اوكي. طيب. example كثير مشهور عن 6-linked gene problems هو مرض اسمه هيموفيليا. والهيموفيليا هو عبارة عن ايش؟ عبارة عن a disease or a disorder that cause a blood to be difficult ايش؟ to be clot. اوكي، هاي هون خليني اعمل لكم هايلايت. اوكي، a hemophilia، هذا هو hemophilia which is a lack of proteins needed for blood clot. فالشخص اللي بيكون عنده هيموفيليا وبنجرح الدم بيظل ايش؟ bleeding، بظل ينزل الدم، ما بيسكر زينا. لما حدا فيكم بينجرح شو بيصير مكان الجرح؟ بيسكر، صح؟ بصير في layer that has a خلينا نحكي red very dark red color وبتغطي هاي المنطقة وبتسكرها. بس الإنسان اللي عنده هيموفيليا هذا بصير very very difficult إنه يوقف عنده البليدنج. حلو؟ طيب. الآن البريتش رويال فاميلي، الأسرة اللي بتحكم بريطانيا، they have a history and a very excellent example of 6-linked disorder. من الكوين مين؟ من كوين فيكتوريا. كوين فيكتوريا في 1899 في 1819 عاشت لغاية 1901 وكانت هي carrier of a recessive 6-linked allele for hemophilia. فكانت حاملة الهيموفيليا. She does not have the hemophilia. She did not have the hemophilia, but she was a carrier. واضحة الأيديا؟ هي كانت carrier. In another word, if she's carrier, she could pass on this carrier, this defective gene, this recessive gene, to